Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 80 of the best sports show out, Highly Opinionated, is on your screen. I am your co-host, Josh. Ladies and gentlemen, working with the best guy, the best editor, the best producer, the best guy here on Highly Opinionated. What's up, Ross? How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How you feeling, Josh?
I am good, man. I appreciate you for everything that you do, brother, here on Highly Opinionated, brother.
Yeah, likewise, oh man.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you guys for watching episode 79. Last week, Highly Opinionated, we gave out some NBA awards. The NBA awards will be coming out this week. So, one award, me and JG got right, the Defensive Player of the Year. First ever unanimous NBA Defensive Player of the Year goes to one Victor Wembanyama. Congratulations to him. And we'll see the rest of the awards unveiled throughout the remaining of the first round of the NBA playoffs. So we appreciate you guys for watching episode 79. You guys' support, you guys' comments, you guys' everything. Interaction with us means the world to us. So we greatly appreciate that. Ross, let them know where they can follow us at on our social medias.
Yes, sir. Y'all can follow us on Instagram at highly opinionated __. Follow us on TikTok at highly opinionated _SS. Follow us on Twitter or X at highly o_SS. And of course, you're already on YouTube, so make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment.
Like, subscribe, follow, leave a comment. If you love sports, this is the place for you. So, Ross, usually we start the episode I usually have a co-host. But this episode is special. First ever edition of an NFL mock draft here on Highly Opinionated. So I had to call in reinforcements. I gave John the week off, gave JG the week off. Shout out to JG. Keep doing what you're doing, Club JG Podcast. He had a great interview last week. He had a great interview with Ben, the Midnight Rider. That just so happens to be one of the people that we're going to have on to co-host the show this week. You found me? Ladies and gentlemen, it should be a great NFL draft. We look forward to being the place that you watch to get the right draft analysis for the draft this week. Ladies and gentlemen, the aforementioned Midnight Rider, Ben from the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. Welcome back to the show, Ben. How you doing, sir?
Hey, man, it's an honor to be available, man. I would have hooked you up because I got three theme songs down. So I could have put a theme song in for you and had my own walk-up music, but I didn't want to do that. But what's going on, man?
Next time you come on the show, please. We encourage people to be themselves on this show. If you want walk-up music, you want lay down music, you can bring whatever music you want. You want walking up to the back music. You walk up to the plate music. You do that. You feel me? You bring whatever music you need, sir. It's a privilege and an honor to have you on this first ever edition, first ever Highly Opinionated mock draft. Privilege and an honor. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't just do this show with just one co-host. I need two co-hosts. And ladies and gentlemen, it's a privilege and an honor to have my good friend, the host of the Let It Ride podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, a highly opinionated welcome to the great Jeff. How you doing, sir?
Doing great, Josh. Thanks for having me, man. Long time overdue. I know you said this is the first mock draft you've done on your show, but you and I have done several mocks together on my show. Looking forward to doing it again tonight.
Yes, sir, man. It's a privilege and an honor. And yes, long overdue. In fact, we put the invitation out for you to come back on in the next couple of weeks. You feel me? That's how long overdue it was. We owe you 2 invitations instead of 1, brother. You know,
can't wait, man. Looking forward to it.
You know, you're more than welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give you a quick story about Ben and Jeff. These gentlemen, they have their own shows. Ben Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. You can catch them on any and everything on that network. And this guy, Jeff, my brother at the bottom of the screen, these guys opened up their shows to me when I was just trying to find my way, trying to find my niche and my path in this game. So I'm forever grateful, forever humble, and forever love these brothers, man. Thank you guys for the opportunity. It was only right for you guys to give me an opportunity. Y'all know I had to pay back. You feel me? So I can't thank you guys enough.
Nah, man, you've helped
absolutely, man. Go ahead.
Tremendously over the last couple of weeks. You've helped us with different shows where it's only been a one-man show and you made it a 2-man. So I definitely appreciate your availability and your willingness to just jump in and help us whenever we have issues or situations. So I appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely, bro.
Same here, Josh. I mean, you were the first guest I ever had on my show, and I think we did an entire season of episodes together. My second year doing podcasts, so I'm definitely happy to be back. You know, have everything come full circle and be on your show too is really cool.
I appreciate that, brother. You allowed me to be me. Like when it was a Gamma show, he allowed me to bring it back to. I like Gamma, but I need to talk my stuff. He allowed me to do that, man. You did as well, so I'm forever grateful and thankful, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first ever highly opinionated mock draft. So as the great Jeff said, we've done this on his show several times. We've done this several years. So each of us will have 11 picks. I'll have 11. Midnight Rider have 11. Jeff, I have 11. Each of us will pick for our own respective team. So I'm a Tampa Bay fan. I pick for Tampa Bay. Midnight Rider is a Washington Commanders fan. He'll pick for the Commanders. And my guy Jeff is a Dallas Cowboys fan. This should make very interesting TV between the Commanders and the Dallas Cowboys. They'll pick. Jeff will pick for the Cowboys. The Cowboys have 2 first-round picks. The Commanders have 1. The Buccaneers have 1. So we'll just go down the draft board. You guys will see the order on your screen. Now the order is somewhat changed because again we're picking for our individual teams. But the first 3 picks go Midnight Rider number 1 with the Las Vegas Raiders. I have the second pick with the New York Jets, and Jeff has the third pick with the Arizona Cardinals. And we'll just stay in that order until we get to our respective teams, and we'll switch it up. So again, each person has 11 picks. It'll be 33 picks, so that means we'll make the first pick in the second round, and that goes to the New York Jets. So, Jeff, Ben, are you ready to get this mock draft started?
Ready to mock it up.
Let's do it.
So, then, with the first pick, this might be the most easiest first pick ever in history. But with the first pick, who will the Las Vegas Raiders select?
They're gonna take Fernando Mendoza. No shenanigans. I'm not gonna mess with y'all today.
Quarterback Fernando Mendoza, selected by the Las Vegas Raiders. It's not even a secret. Kirk Cousins, the quarterback that just recently signed with the Vikings, said it's going to be an interesting quarterback room. I know he ain't talking about the guys that's in there now. So he has to be talking about the guy that's going to take at number 1. So Fernando Mendoza is the number 1 pick by the Las Vegas Raiders. I have the number 2 pick for the New York Jets. And this is, to me, where the draft actually starts because we know where number 1 is. This is a very unique pick for the Jets. We've heard 2 edge rusher for the Jets all basically since the draft talk has started up. You have edge David Bailey from Texas Tech, and you have linebacker that could do it all, Arvell Reese. For me, I know the smart money is coming on David Bailey, but it's just something in me thinking that the Jets are going to take Arvell Reese. So with the second pick, the New York Jets select Arvell Reese, linebacker, Ohio State.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, I like the pick there. It's funny because I have written down for the Cardinals, I was just going to take whoever was left between those 2 guys. And I really think the fit works better this way because you have Bailey coming to that 3-4 defense in Texas Tech, and the Arizona Cardinals play a 3-4 as well. The good thing about Arvell Reese, it's kind of a safer pick because even if he doesn't work out as a pass rusher, he hasn't been a full-time pass rusher. If he doesn't work out as a pass rusher, he could go the Zach Bond route and just become a solid middle linebacker. So you're getting a great football player either way. I think he's the better football player, so the safer pick are number 2, but I think David Bailey is the better pass rusher.
Yes, I agree. I think to me, the most pro-ready pass rusher prospect in this draft is Akeem Mesidor from Miami. That's part of age because he's 25 years old. I think the second most pro-ready prospect pass rusher in this class is David Bailey. He's just going to use his strength. He's going to use his hands. He's going to use everything that the pass rusher needs to get to the quarterback. And again, he was part of Texas Tech. I know they didn't show out well in the college football playoff against Oregon, but they only lost. I know 21-0 is not good, but they only gave up 21 points. That showed you how good that Texas Tech defense is, led by David Bailey.
Yeah, and that is my pick here at number 3, David Bailey to the Arizona Cardinals. Honestly, when the pick comes around, I think they're going to trade down because they do need to build up the offensive line. I gave brief consideration to drafting Jeremiah Love. I just couldn't do that to Tyler Algier. Tyler Algier finally gets out from under Bijan Robinson just to go somewhere else and have Jeremiah Love drafted. Couldn't do that to him, although I have heard some scuttlebutt. The Cardinals are thinking of that. But it's an easy fit here. Like I said, he comes from that 3-4 defense at Texas Tech, David Bailey, ready-made pass rusher. He gets in there and with the last couple first-round picks they've made, they had Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss. He is that more interior lineman on the 3-4. So you get this other guy on the edge, and I think this pass rush in Arizona could be really good.
And you can put him on the side. Think about this. You got defensive tackle in the middle. Walter Nolan. They got another defensive tackle. It's slipping my mind right now. But
they got Darius Robinson, who they drafted the year before.
He went to Missouri, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay, so he went. I remember him. He went to Missouri. He was a solid. He was a good player in the SEC. Let's see if he can develop. But also think about this. Think about that edge. You got Josh Sweat on one side. You pair him with David Bailey, and you got them two I don't call them man eaters, but you got them two body eaters in the middle that can that defensive tackles that can hold people and let them eat. Yeah, that's what I thought of the Cardinals last year. Not saying they're gonna win the division this year, but they will be a better team this year. Obviously, they still got to figure out that quarterback position.
Yeah, still have Zaven Collins there as well. So they'd be, stacking a strength. You can never have too many pass rushers.
Never at all. You learned that. Then with the 4th pick, who does the Tennessee Titans select?
I mean, I gotta do it. I mean, I thought Jeff was going to do this move, but
You got
I'll
to.
go ahead and do it because what we do in this world all revolves around love, and I take Jeremiah Love to the Tennessee Titans, running back out of Notre Dame. I just think he can do a little bit of everything. I think he's a big upgrade over Tony Pollard. Because he can get you the dirty yards in terms of having to power through people and break tackles. B, because he's a great receiver. You can line him out outside and still have Pollard on the field, and you can get 2 for 1 in that scenario. You got 2 guys that can catch the ball out of the backfield. So it depends on how creative the Tennessee Titans want to be, but they have a great opportunity to be very entertaining and very different by the way they line up with this young man playing in their backfield.
Any thoughts on the pick, Jeff?
I mean, I have him as the second best player in the draft. He's an otherworldly running back prospect. And the thing about they always say, oh, you never take a running back this high. But when you look at this draft board, there's not another running back scheduled to come off the board until early in the 3rd round. And that's going to be his teammate there at Notre Dame. There's no other running back prospect. So it's not one of those things where you could say, oh, we'll take a edge rusher here high in the draft and get a running back later. There are no other pro-ready running backs on the board. So you're getting not only a top-end prospect, but you're getting the only guy that's going to go anywhere near the 1st round here.
So,
Yeah,
Jeff,
no.
you don't think Price gets off the board at 32 to Seattle?
I could see it just so they have the 5th-year flexibility. The same thing that they did with Kenneth Walker. You get that 5th year if you draft a guy in the 1st round. But I have them going in a different direction, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay, cool.
So with the 4th pick, the Tennessee Titans select Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame. I think all of us think he's either the 1st, 2nd, or at worst the 3rd best player in this draft. So I would love that move for the Tennessee Titans. Would make Cam Ward's job a lot easier. I'm up next with the 5th pick for the New York Giants. And speaking of the New York Giants have had a very eventful last 48 hours. They traded Dexter Lawrence away to the Cincinnati Bengals for the 10th pick in the draft. So the New York Giants will have the 5th pick and the 10th pick in the draft, 2026 NFL draft. So right now with the 5th pick in the 2026 NFL draft, the New York Giants select linebacker Sonny Styles, Ohio State. I think John Harbaugh wants to come in and put his emphasis on the Giants. And I think this pick will come down to, let's see what happens at 10. Let's see what happens. But I think this pick will come down to 2 names, either Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles. I think the Giants have been fiending and needing a linebacker that has the abilities that Sonny Styles has. So with the 5th pick, I think the New York Giants select Sonny Styles. Now, I will say this about Sonny Styles. He does have a lot of the guy from Clemson, Isaiah Simmons. He does remind me of him to an extent. So that might scare the Giants off. That might scare the Giants off a little bit. Somewhat same size, somewhat same build, somewhat like played all over the field. Don't really have a set position. So for me, I like Sonny Styles with the Giants, and I think if Harbaugh can maximize him, at, maybe 1 or 2 positions, you can get the best out of him. So at 5, the Giants select Sonny Styles.
I hear what you're saying about the Isaiah Simmons comp, but I think he's a totally different ball player. I get the makeup. I get the fact that he played a little safety, but the problem with Isaiah was he never played linebacker really in college. They kind of use him in spots, but it wasn't a full-time thing. This is a guy that's going to get the green dot from day one, and whoever drafts him, whether it's the Giants, whether it's the Commanders, whoever gets him is going to get a guy that's going to be there for 10 years and hold down their defense, and they're going to build their defense around him in the middle.
I agree with Ben here. I was actually prepared to trade both of Dallas's first round picks to move up to number 6 and draft him next if he didn't go number 5 to the Giants here. He's just a ready-made middle linebacker. He reminds me of the Patrick Willis, Luke Kuechly types that you could just build your defense around. He's one of the smartest players in the draft. When I said I had Jeremiah Love at number 2, Sonny Styles is who I have at number 1. I think he is the best football player in this draft. I think it's a great pick.
Jeff, you up next. Cleveland Browns.
So now I got to shift. I kind of got to shift
sorry,
here.
brother. I'm sorry.
So I had the Cowboys trading up both of their first round picks here to take Sonny Styles. Now, with him off the board, I'm going to have to go in a different direction. They could still trade up here, maybe take a Caleb Downs, but I don't think he's worth trading both first rounders for, which I think Sonny Styles is. So I'm going to have to go in a different direction here for the Cleveland Browns. And there's holes all over this team. But there is a guy that's falling down the draft board for kind of some silly reasons to me, and I think he's one of the best players in the draft. And he's fallen out of the top 10 in a lot of mocks, but I watched this guy play. He's got a high motor. People are worried about the short arms. I'm not worried about that at all. I'm going to take the edge rusher, Reuben Bain Jr. out of Miami. Reminds me of Melvin Ingram's Terrell Suggs type. You put him on the other side of Myles Garrett, and you have an elite pass rush there with the Browns. So taking Reuben Bain Jr. here, number 6 to the Browns.
Love the pick.
That is the name I was not thinking about. Not Reuben Baines, but you said 2 names, Melvin Ingram, because I kept trying to compare him to Brandon Graham, but Brandon Graham's got 32-inch arms, so his arms are a little bit longer, but Melvin Ingram is the better comp. I like that.
Yeah, great pick.
And if you remember, Melvin Ingram fell in the draft too. He fell behind some guys that he absolutely shouldn't have fallen behind. You had Bruce Irvin that went ahead of him, and I know Bruce Irvin did some okay things, but he tested better than Melvin Ingram did, and ended up going higher in the draft, and it ended up not really working out. Melvin Ingram ended up being the much better NFL player.
Absolutely. No, I love the pick, Reuben Bain. When you have this many holes, you take best player available, and you put them on the other side. The Browns already have a good defense. You just make a strength, and you try to, I know the quarterback situation, you try to figure that out with the quarterbacks that you have, or you look forward to the 2027 draft class. Ben, your Washington Commanders are on the clock. Who are the Commanders picking at number 7?
I'm going to go a little different route. I probably haven't done this route before, but with Love off the board, I'm going to go ahead down to the Bayou. They call it DB University. I'm going to grab me Mansour Delane, cornerback, LSU.
Mansour Delane, quarterback, LSU. Go ahead, bro.
I mean, I just think that's the situation where you want to take the best talent on the board. If you have any doubts about Carnell Tate and his ability to get off press, which I've heard people say, if you have any doubts about Caleb Downs and maybe the knee, I think this is the best sure thing of those 3. And Delane definitely came on my board, was on the board for me later in the process. He definitely didn't start out as who I thought they would take.
Yeah, and a great man-to-man corner. Reminds me a lot of Trent McDuffie. That same style of corner. The Chiefs would love for him to fall to 9, but the Commanders obviously would love him at 7 here as well if Love and Styles aren't on the board. So I think it's a good pick here for Washington.
Yeah, I love the pick for Washington. They need all levels of defense. To me, I thought last year going into the season, they were going to struggle. And the reason why they were going to struggle, they were an old defense. If you look at their free agency moves, they signed young players. Odafe Away. I know I'm forgetting guys, but they signed young. I know it's more than they signed 10, but that's the person that sticks out. But they signed younger guys to add to that defense.
Kevion Chason.
Kevion Chason. Thank you.
They brought back Tim Settle. They got Emmerich Robertson in the slot
from Detroit.
I think the thing that can make this defense more dynamic is if you put Mansour on one side, and if Trey Amos can come back with that from that leg injury, I think they become one of the better cornerback duos in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they have a good defense. I know he's the head coach. They have a good defensive head coach in Dan Quinn. So that's going to get them guys fired up, get those guys ready. So I love that. Washington needs to take defense. I know everybody want to talk about wide receiver. No, if Love is on the board, I can understand Mr. Love. But other than that, I'm taking a defensive player, whether it's an edge rusher, corner, etc. One of those 2 positions Washington needs. I'm up with the 8th pick. The New Orleans Saints select wide receiver Carnell Tate from the University of Ohio State. Very simply, I feel like I'm taking all the Jet picks right on them. I'm sorry, bro.
No, it's I got something for this when you're done.
Okay. So for the Saints, I don't think, and I fall into this. I didn't know how good Tyler Shuck was. Watch him play a little bit at Louisville, but sometimes you play against, when you play Notre Dame, you have a throw or two, but you really dominate against mid-level and lesser opponents. When you're playing against big-level opponents, I didn't see the Tyler Shuck. I didn't see that Tyler Shuck. What I saw in New Orleans last year, they can build a franchise with him. I'm not saying he's a franchise quarterback. You have two types of quarterbacks. You have a franchise quarterback. You have a quarterback of a franchise. Right now, he's a quarterback of a franchise. I feel like he could get to a franchise-level quarterback. If you add the right talent around him, they already have one receiver that's hurt, and they already have one receiver from Ohio State in Olave. He's hurt all the time. Let's maximize him by drafting another receiver. Let's give Tyler Shuck a weapon. Let's give the offensive line a weapon. Let's give the whole offensive weapon. You have an offensive coach in Kellen Moore. Let's maximize Tyler Shuck, and let's see how good he can be. In the NFC South, you can go from 4th to 1st, just like that. I seen the team win 6 games. They were 6-2 last year. They ended the season 8-9. So the NFC South, you can go up and down. You feel me? So with the 9th pick, Carnell Tate, wide receiver, Ohio State.
With the 8th pick, because I remember that because, like I said, we've done a couple of mock drafts together. When you do this with somebody a couple of times, you start to learn their tendencies and who they like. I did this for 2 picks. Wrote this down before we started. Josh will draft Tate, number 8. I have another one on this side. We'll see if that one comes true as well. I knew this was coming. I know your tendencies. Knew you were going to give a wide receiver to the Saints here. Carnell Tate, the best route runner in the draft. I think it's a great pick.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Jeff, you're up at number 9. Kansas City is on the board.
Yeah, Kansas City on the clock now. I had Mansour Delaney penciled in here, but they're going to go a different route now. This guy's falling down the board a little bit too far. Caleb Downs, a safety out of Ohio State. I mean, this Ohio State defense, this is the 3rd player off the board in the first 9 picks. An amazing defense, just like those Georgia defenses from the past that would have, multiple first-round picks from the same team. They'd rather have a corner here, but they're taking the best guy on the board here. Caleb Downs still making that secondary much better.
Ben, your thoughts on Caleb Downs going to the Kansas City Chiefs?
And my player comp is Eric Berry. So, taking him, he played his entire career for the Chiefs. So you're getting the exact same type of player back with the Chiefs.
Okay. I like Eric Berry. I was going to say more, but I see some Derwin James in his game.
Okay.
I see a little bit of Derwin. I won't put super high. I like the Eric Berry because he was a good player. He wasn't super great. He might have been.
I don't know if Downs has because I don't know if he has the man-to-man coverage skills that Derwin James, because Derwin James can just lock down your tight end. I don't know if Caleb Downs is doing that for you, but he's still a solid, strong safety, and he can play zone coverage. But yeah, I mean, either way, I think they're getting a great player here at number 9.
Ben, your thoughts on Caleb Downs?
I think 1-to-1, that's a great comp, Eric Berry. I heard somebody else say that earlier this week or last week, I should say, as a comp, and it stuck. And I like the way you said that. But if you don't mind, I got like a little something I throw into the mix on this one.
Okay.
I think this is a spot for a guy like, I got 2 of these, and they're gonna be off the wall, so bear with me. But the tight end of Oregon, Kenyon Sadiq, I can see him here as a replacement for Kelsey. So.
Well, I have him penciled in later in the draft. The fact that you brought him up already makes me think I might not get him in the spot that I think I'm going to get him. But yeah, that's a player that I definitely have my eyes on as well. I mean, just a physical freak at tight end.
Yeah, absolutely. Kenyon Sadiq would make any team happy. If you picking that 1 or you picking that 32, he can play the tight end position. You can line him up at the X position, especially on the goal line, especially at the goal line. You just throw him a jump ball. He can definitely do that. Number 10. Ben, you're on the clock with the New York Giants. The first pick was Sonny Styles, linebacker from Ohio State. Who will the Giants select with that second first-round pick?
I think they have to go and take care of something up front. And I think they go with the kid from Miami, Francis Magawa.
Yes.
I think they take him because you got to be tired of the Evan Neal experiment. You got to get something solid on that line, because then that takes care of the quarterback. That gives him time, and with you having Neighbors and company, you can address receiver a little bit later, and I think that just fulfills all your needs, or not all, but gives you a better place to start from, a better foundation.
Yeah, and the good thing about Mayaga too is like he played right tackle, but he can also move inside the guard. He reminds me a lot of a Joel Bitonio. He's a very versatile guy. He could play right tackle or he can slide inside the guard. So if Evan Neal decides to all of a sudden become the player they think he is, you could still move Mayaga down inside the guard and still have both guys on the field.
Absolutely. He only gave up 2 sacks this season. So, and Jeff, you're 100% right. Played 10 snaps at right guard, played over 1,000 snaps at right tackle. So he's solidified on that right side. He has experience at guard and tackle. And again, only giving up 2 sacks this season. That's definitely impressive for a team that just barely came up short in the national championship. For the 11th pick, the Miami Dolphins are on the clock. That would be me. The Miami Dolphins have had a talent drain in Miami. The best players on the team have either been traded, cut, or etc. So they just need to get some talent. They went out and signed Malik Willis. So in order to make Malik Willis good, they traded their best receiver. They cut their best receiver and traded their second best receiver in Tyreek Hill, respectively, and Jalen Waddle. So for me, with the number 11th pick, I think Miami is going to shock the world. I think Miami is going to take tight end Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon.
Not bad. I thought for sure you were going to go with the wide receiver, maybe a Jordan Tyson here. But hey, just get some talent on the field. Get somebody for Malik Willis to throw the ball to. A guy lining up closer to the line of scrimmage, definitely good for his skill set. He likes to move around in the pocket. Like the pick here. I was hoping to get him with the Ravens all the way down. I think at like number 16, 18, something like that. Just because they lost Isaiah Likely, but going to Miami here, you can't knock the talent. Didn't necessarily have the production that you would like, but all the talent in the world, all the physical tools.
So yeah, 67 catches, 560 yards last year, 8 touchdowns. I feel like that'll go up. I shouldn't say go up, but I feel like with him being drafted in Miami again, you just need talent. You need a talent increase, a talent push up talent, however you want to say it. They need more talent in Miami. The best players have left offensively and defensively. So you went out and signed Malik Willis. Even if he's not your franchise quarterback, you managed your cap whereas though you can get rid of him after next season. So for me, I think Kenyon Sadiq would be a perfect fit for the Miami Dolphins at 11.
Okay. That makes for interesting.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Midnight Ride. I'm sorry.
It makes it interesting coming to Dallas because there's some different options here. I'm curious about this next pick.
Well, you don't have to wait too long, sir. With the 12th pick, the Dallas Cowboys are on the clock, and my guy Jeff will make that selection.
Yeah. I really, really wanted to trade up for Sonny Styles at number 6. Everybody knows the Cowboys, were terrible against the pass last year. The deep balls that everybody saw. What I really noticed was on 3rd and longs. They couldn't cover the middle of the field, which is why I wanted Sonny Styles. But I'll take the next best thing here. I'm going to take the best cornerback on the board, Jamad McCoy, the cornerback out of Tennessee, a guy that probably would have been the first corner off the board if he didn't suffer an ACL injury. Now, he didn't play last year, but you're still getting a high-end talent here. He's the best guy on the board. So I'm just going to take him here, Jamad McCoy, cornerback from Tennessee.
Totally agree with that assessment. And that's where he's kind of been ending up on all the mocks that I've been doing. Is going here to Dallas. I think this is a great pick. I think this is one of the best setups because this kid did miss a season, but like you said, if he didn't miss the season for an injury, he's the number 1 corner off the board, and Mansour Delaney is too. So I definitely like this pick.
Yeah, he missed last season with an injury. He played in 2024. He played in 2023. He had 4 interceptions in 2024. He had two interceptions in 2023. He can play. He played majority outside at corner, but he can also play some slot as well. So
yeah, you can see how much that Tennessee defense missed him too when you watched him in 2024 versus this year. That Tennessee defense definitely took a step back without him.
Absolutely. So Jamad McCoy, cornerback Tennessee, goes to Dallas at 12. Midnight Ride, you're on the clock. 13 pick. The Los Angeles Rams are on the clock.
I'm gonna go away from.
Didn't they trade this pick?
No, they traded 29.
Okay, you're right. This is the one they got from the Falcons. Okay,
that's the one they got from the Falcons. Yeah, this should be the Falcons.
All right, I'm not gonna go with my hunch here. I'm gonna go with a solid pick. So I'm gonna take Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle, Georgia. He's got the best measurables of the tackles. He's least likely to be somebody that you push in to play guard. He's going to be a tackle from day one. That also helps them with the blind side or the right side for Matthew Stafford. You got a quarterback with a bad back. You definitely don't want him getting hit too much. I did have an outside pick on this. My outside pick would have been Omar Cooper, just because I think he's a Rams type of wide receiver. But I stuck with the stay true to my board or the board. I went Monroe Freeland.
Monroe Freeland, tackle, Georgia. He again, a lot of these players have experience playing left and right side. He played right tackle his freshman year. Then he switched over to the left side. He's been a left tackle for the past 2 seasons. This year, he had 881 snaps at left tackle. He had 1 snap at right tackle. So he's a left tackle, true and true, and definitely can help Matthew Stafford as the Rams try to propel themselves and get over the hump of losing the NFC Championship game, get to the Super Bowl, and actually win, not actually, but win that second Super Bowl under Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. Jeff, I'm sorry. You want to speak on
No,
the
I was just going to say, like you talk about the tackles in this draft, there's a number of guys that are ranked ahead of him on the board, but they are all predominantly right tackles. When you look at Spencer Fano still on the board, he projects as a right tackle in the NFL. Monroe Freeling has that left tackle body. He's a little bit raw, but he is probably the best left tackle prospect. It's between him and Caden Proctor, both of them very raw, but those are the 2 guys you project to be left tackles in the league. I did want to say it's funny that you said that about who was it, the Omar Cooper Jr., that you said he's a Rams type of wide receiver, because the player comp I have for him is Cooper Kupp. So I think he's absolutely a Rams type of wide receiver.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's one I watched this tape and I watched something else and I was like, yo, this is the guy that if you get the Rams behind the scenes and you remember how they was like, I think it was Puka, and they were talking about, oh, this is a guy we can put here, we can do this. This is the same kind of guy. He's a big body guy. He's physical, and he'll get his hands dirty. And I think that's a place where he might end up.
Jeff, you're on the clock. Number 14 pick. The Baltimore Ravens are on the clock. Hold on, Jeff. Before you pick this, Baltimore fans around the world, they are pins and needles. They want to know who are the Ravens bringing home 14th with the 14th pick.
Yeah, and I had Kenyon Sadiq penciled in here just because Isaiah Likely's leaving, Mark Andrews getting a little bit older, so that's not an option. I'm going to go with the next available pass catcher on the board. I'm going to take Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver out of ASU. I think he's a Devonta Smith type. I think he's an elite route runner. He catches the ball cleanly, and for everything that the Ravens have tried to do, they've tried to get Lamar Jackson the number 1 wide receiver and have failed to do so. I think Jordan Tyson is a home run pick here.
Jordan Tyson last season, 61 catches, 711 yards, 8 touchdowns. He missed a couple games with injuries. He only played in 9 games. His PFF rating was 82.9. For me, everyone has in this draft, the receivers is about what you like. I like Jordan Tyson. I think he's measured. I think you can compare him to Malachi Lemon. You can compare him to Carnell Tate. I like Denzel Boston at Washington. So my thing is that this class about receivers is about what you like. It's about your taste, is your preference. So the Ravens, another year drafting a receiver, they definitely could use it. Jordan Tyson would be a great pick for the Ravens. Any thoughts on the pick, Midnight?
Yeah, easily, man. I think the first thing you do is you find a local track person to help him with his hamstrings, or get him in the program where they're serious, man. You get him with a person that, you know, maybe it's a masseuse or something, but you tell him, hey, you take this part of your check and you get you somebody dedicated to getting your body right, because he has to do something. I think he's the best receiver in this group. The only reason he doesn't go before Tate is because of the leg injuries and the questions about his durability. But he takes away those questions. I don't think there's anybody better. I think he's the best route runner in the group. I think he gets in and out of his breaks nicely. So I have no problems with this pick. I actually think he's stuck around way too long.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't have him falling this low.
Ooh. At number 15, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on the clock. Since I like the Bucs, that would be me. The Bucs lost Mike Evans. I see a lot of mock drafts. If Kenyon Sadiq is there, I've seen a lot of mock drafts say that Tampa should take Kenyon Sadiq. I disagree. I think Tampa's offense will be okay to good, even without Mike Evans. They have weapons on the offense with Jalen McMillan, Emeka Ibuka, Chris Godwin, Tez Johnson. And you got the two running back. You got Bucky Irvin, and they signed Kenneth Gainwell from the Steelers. So I think the offense will be fine. Defense. The defense was terrible last year. They need a pass rush. I said this early in the show, so I'm going to repeat it again. The most pro-ready prospect in this draft at pass rusher is Hakeem Mesidor out of the University of Miami. Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Hakeem Mesidor from the University of Miami. I just simply think it's a plug-and-play guy. I understand he's 25 years old, but the Bucs, if they serious about anything, I don't know what their goals and expectations are for next season. But they need a pass rusher. They need someone on the other side of Yaya Diaby that can create some pressure. So I think Hakeem Mesidor is that guy for them.
Definitely a defense with a lot of holes. I really thought you were going to go in a different direction here, just because the Bucs, for the last couple of years, have not been able to cover tight ends to save their life. I thought you were going to go with like a Dylan Thieneman, the safety out of Oregon, a guy I compared to Javon Holland. But this is still a solid pick here. Hakeem Mesidor, a great pass rusher. On the other side of Ruben Bain, definitely had some great production down there on a great Miami defense that carried them to the national title game. So, definitely getting some talent there in Tampa here.
So the reason why I didn't take Dylan, the safety from Oregon, is because they drafted Taki Smith, so they believe in Taki Smith. Whether I believe in him or not, that's subjective. That doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
They believe in him, so they're not going to. They wouldn't have three safeties. So for me, they don't need to draft no offensive players. They need a pass rusher. They would love to see, and I know it's not going to happen. They would love for Bailey to drop, Bain to drop. They would love for that, but that's just not going to happen at 15. So I think 15 with Mesidor is the perfect spot. It's not too high. It's not too low. Just right. Come in, I don't say he's a veteran because he is a rookie, but at 25 as a rookie, you're somewhat of a veteran compared to guys coming in at 20 and 21, 22 years old. So for me, the pick, Mesidor out of Miami. Ben, you're on the clock. The New York Jets, 16th pick.
Let's see. Who did the Jets take it to?
So the Jets took Arvell Reese, linebacker at number 2.
All right, so then let's go ahead and get them Mekhi St. Brown. Kyle Lemon, wide receiver USC.
Freudian slip there.
I think he's the closest thing. I think he's a good slot receiver, and he can help them open up the middle of the field. I think it takes some of the pressure off Garrett Wilson. And then I don't remember their tight end situation, but I think it just makes it easy on the quarterback, no matter who the quarterback is.
Yeah, you must have had the same player comp I did with saying St. Brown there, because I have him comped on Amon-Ra St. Brown. They went to the same school, they're the same type of player, and Amon-Ra St. Brown fell way too far in his draft, and I don't think the NFL is going to make that same mistake again.
Fight on. 79 catches, 1,156 yards, 11 touchdowns. Malachi Lemon was USC's best offensive weapon through last season in college football. Malachi Lemon is selected to be the yin to Garrett Wilson's yang. You have a tall receiver, you have a short receiver. So Malachi Lemon selected at number 16. I am on the clock at number 17 with the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are on the clock, and this Detroit Lions team could use offensive line help from Spencer Fontenot, tackle from Utah. They could use Anoa, if I'm pronouncing his name right, guard from Penn State. I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name. They could use Blake Miller, a tackle from Clemson. So I think Detroit is going to attack the offensive line, and I think they're going to select the guard out of Penn State. I can't pronounce his first name. So Ione, guard out of Penn State. Detroit's offensive line last year was the weakest part of their team. I know we can talk about defense. I know they lost Ben Johnson. I get all that. But what made Detroit the first 2 seasons, they would smash you in the mouth and run the ball. They couldn't do that last year when the money was on the line. They ran, but they couldn't do it when the games were on the line, games were being decided. I think Dan Campbell wants to get back to physical offensive line play, so they select the guard out of Penn State.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see a run of offensive linemen here coming off the board. A lot of guys that were projected, at the 12th guy on my board, the 15th guy on my board, the 16th guy on my board, the 13th guy on my board, all 4 offensive linemen. You just took one of them. So Detroit has their pick here, and I agree the pick has to be offensive line for them.
Yes, sir.
I totally agree with this as well. I think we're going to start getting into what's called the tackle run.
Mhm.
So the tackles or the guards going to start coming off the board. I think I had him mocked on when we did our reverse mock on our show. I think I had him going to the Chargers. So I like him here. I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, I love it for Detroit. Like I said, they need that physicality. And think about this. As I've gone through our mock draft so far, the first offensive lineman that was taken, it was number 10 from Miami, Francis Mugaga. If I'm pronouncing his name wrong, I'm sorry. But he was the first offensive line taken. That was at 10. Everything else was quarterback, pass rusher, running back, pass rusher, corner, wide receiver, safety. So this definitely is a time where if you need an offensive lineman, this is the perfect place for you.
Yep.
I already know who this pick is going to be, but I'm gonna let Ben make it in. I'm gonna let Jeff make it anyway. Jeff is on the board on the clock with the number 18 pick. Who are the Minnesota Vikings selecting?
So they could go a number of different directions. They could keep going with the offensive line run. They could go with another receiver, with an Omar Cooper type. They could go secondary, Colton Hood out of Tennessee, another solid corner from Tennessee there. But I'm just going to stick with the most versatile offensive lineman on the board here. I'm going to take Spencer Fano, the offensive tackle from Utah. Now, he's listed at offensive tackle, but he's played guard and he's played center as well. So just a versatile offensive lineman you can plug in anywhere. You need to protect Kyler Murray because, yes, Kyler Murray is going to be the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. You have to get some protection around him. A lot of people might not like Kyler Murray. I didn't like Kyler Murray at $30 million a year. I love him at $2 million a year. So I think the Vikings are going to try to protect their small investment here and go with Spencer Fano, the offensive lineman out of Utah.
Hey, Jeff, you know what they say? Beauty is always in the eye of what you spend your money on. So absolutely. I get you on that. I totally understand. Spending $30 million on Kyler Murray is not sexy. Coming home with $2 million of Kyler Murray, that's amazing. That's an amazing bargain. So I love the pick. Midnight Rider, your thoughts on Spencer Fano going to Minnesota?
I love the pick. This is the first mock I've done where we haven't given them Dylan Thieneman. So I appreciate you guys for bringing some diversity to the picks that I've been dealing with, because I think I've done 4 mocks on air, and all 4 mocks we've decided on Dylan Thieneman. So I like that.
Do people just want to give a white safety to the Vikings because they watched what's his name, Harrison Smith for so long?
I think it's the perfect comp. I think it's the perfect fit. He's an athlete. You know, he's a little bit above average than what you think he's going to be. He's a great story. You know, I think he started playing baseball and then transitioned over to football as a walk-on, and then got on scholarship. And I just think he's a great athlete that can help a team win, that needs a safety help.
Yeah, there's another team that needs safety help coming real soon.
Yeah, real soon. Jeff, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely thought you was taking Dylan. I thought you was taking. I thought every mock draft I've seen. How you pronounce his last name?
Thieneman.
Dylan Thieneman. Every mock draft I've seen, it's like it's not even written in pencil. It's like Sharpie. He's going to the Vikings. So it's like everywhere I see, he's just going to the Vikings. Everywhere. So it's like, Jesus Christ. Listen, he better be as good as Harrison Smith, as much as they've been portraying him to go to the damn Vikings if you go to the Vikings on Thursday night. Can't wait to see if that happens. NFL draft again. NFL draft, shameless plug for him. Thursday night on NFL Network, ABC, ESPN app. It's going to be very hard for you not to find out where to watch the NFL draft on Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. With the 19th pick, the Carolina Panthers are on the clock. Midnight Rider. My Uncle Ben. Floor is yours, sir.
All right, I need some help because my app just crashed on me.
I got you.
Give me Carolina's needs.
Carolina needs wide receiver, tight end, center, defensive line.
All right, so let's give them a pass rusher. Let's give them Kedrick Falk.
Ooh, like that.
Yeah,
Well, I
that's
hate it for the Bucks, but I like it for Carolina.
I like the pick here. He's a little raw. Might not be as ready to go as some of the other pass rushers in the draft, but reminds me a lot of an Eric Armstead type. It could eventually be a really good pass rusher in this league, but I think it might take a couple years.
Yeah, last season, his best year in college was his second season. He had 9 sacks. Last season, struggled a little bit on the sacks. Yeah, he had 27 hurries. He had 2 balls batted. So it's about, for me, with Kendrick Falk, it's about right situation, right path. And Carolina, they got some guys on that defense. They went out and signed Jalen Phillips from the Eagles. They got Derrick Brown in the middle. They got some guys that can rush the passer on that team. So to add him to the mix, that would be a perfect fit for those guys. Jeff, your Dallas Cowboys have their second first-round pick. We're at number 20, gentlemen, already. With the 20th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select
Dylan Thieneman, the fast, versatile safety who can also play some slot corner out of Oregon. The Cowboys earlier in this mock draft already got Jermod McCoy, the cornerback out of Tennessee. We're just going to stack on what was a weak point on this team last year. The secondary was historically one of the maybe the worst in the NFL. Some metrics had them as the worst secondary in the history of the NFL. You have to fix that. They lose Diggs. Deron Bland didn't really live up to his contract. The contract I never thought they should have given him in the first place because everyone's losing their mind over these pick sixes. I'm like, you realize a lot of those are kind of just luck. Like you just kind of luck into getting a pick six a lot of the time. It's not like he was Deion Sanders dancing around with the ball. Most of them he was just running directly into the end zone. Now it's a skill set, but it's not a top dollar cornerback skill set. So the Cowboys need to draft in the secondary. We already got Jermod McCoy. We're going to add to it again here with Dylan Thieneman, the safety out of Oregon. A guy that reminds me a lot of Javon Holland.
Midnight.
That's an interesting pick because isn't Holland an Oregon Duck as well?
He is, yes. It seems to be a lot of those. The same thing with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Lemon out of USC. I mean, a lot of that could be recruiting. You know, maybe some coaches are just recruiting the same types of players.
Yeah, let's just say this: if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like,
yep.
You have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Malachi Lemon. That's a hell of a move. The safety that you mentioned from Oregon, I slipped my mind. You said who did he remind you? Javon Holland and Thieneman. They went to Oregon and probably play somewhat of the same. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yep. Great pick for the Cowboys. The Cowboys draft a cornerback, McCoy, and draft a safety, Thieneman, to round in the back of their defense.
And Josh, I got to tell you, so I correctly predicted who you pick at number 8. I have another one written down here with who I think you're going to select at 21, and let's see if I'm right.
21. Okay, let's see. I am on the clock with the 21st pick. So this is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And last year, Jeff, this was on your show, Let It Ride Podcast. We thought this was a perfect spot for one Shador Sanders. And he did not get picked until the 6th round. Remember that? Remember we thought this was the perfect spot for him, right?
You're going to do exactly what I thought you were going to do.
And they went and they drafted defensive tackle in the 1st round. So I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, they do not believe in resetting. No, they don't believe in resetting. You should not reset. You just rebuild/reload. They have an injury to an offensive lineman, Broderick Jones. So for me, I think the Steelers, because they obviously think Aaron Rodgers is coming back. It's just they didn't sign him back. So they must know he's coming back. You're not going to draft a quarterback that high with him coming back. We've seen that movie already. You don't want them problems. So I think they're going to attack the offensive line. So I think the Pittsburgh Steelers select tackle Blake Miller from the University of Clemson.
It's almost like you knew who I thought you were going to say, and you made it seem like you were going to say, I thought for sure Ty Simpson was coming off the board.
I learned my lesson last year. Because they screwed me last year. We were supposed to get that right, bro. You know it. They screwed me. So I think they go offensive tackle, man. I think they go Blake Miller, Clemson. He played last year. He said experience on the left side and the right side. In 2024, he played right tackle and left tackle, 100 snaps on the left side, 800 on the right side. This past season, he's fully on the right side. Broderick Jones, they need someone to replace him. He has neck injury or something like that. They don't know how serious it is. If you're going to have a 40-year-old quarterback, he needs to have protection. So I think the best pick for them, Blake Miller, Clemson, tackle.
Totally like it. I like everything about it. It's funny that you got Blake Miller at 21. I think we had him on the other two mocks I've done. I seen him go as late as 30 and as early as 24. So this is the earliest I've seen Blake Miller go. But I love the pick. I thought he should have gone earlier too. But it's different when you do a mock with a bunch of people. You get a bunch of different ideas.
Absolutely. Let me just say this. To me, this pick came down to him and Caden Proctor. Caden Proctor had a very disappointing He had a disappointing season for Alabama. All of them really had a disappointing season. After Alabama, they had a big home win. I'm trying to think. It was against. Was it against? Might have been against Vandy. And then after that, team started. Their offensive line started to play bad. Ty Simpson started to get hit, more stuff like that. Running backs wasn't blocking. Running back, they couldn't even run the ball. Imagine Alabama couldn't run the ball. So it came down to him and Proctor. I just think Miller had a better season, so I think they'll give a slight edge to Miller.
How often are the Pittsburgh Steelers going to be in position to draft the second best quarterback in the draft?
Next season.
You think so? Okay, so maybe the 8-8 stuff stops now that Mike Tomlin's gone, and maybe they can draft the guy. I'm really high on Ty Simpson. I think
I like Ty.
Pick here. I know you do. I know you do. That's why I thought he was going to be the pick here.
All right. I'm gonna say this.
I think it's a mistake to build your draft around a 42-year-old quarterback. Also.
Yeah, but you have like the way they Jeff and you know this, the way they set it up, they have no choice.
Yeah, they do. Like, they can draft Ty Simpson.
But
Aaron Rodgers can just stay in his hut and do his weird drugs. He doesn't have to come play football next year.
They're not. You know this. They know. Cam Hayward came out. You know this on the Rich Eisen show. He came out and said that he want Aaron Rodgers back. McCarthy. They basically what they're doing is this. Well, yeah, Will Howard's going to be the guy. They know Will Howard ain't going to be the guy. They know it's going to. And I get your point. Between last year and this year, they should draft a quarterback in the first round. But they are stubborn, and you know how stubborn people are. They are stuck in their ways, bro. You know that. Look at your owner. Like he's stubborn in his way.
Yeah, but that's the one thing that say what you want about Jerry. I mean, we've made some terrible decisions as far as giving out contracts and all that. He's actually drafted pretty well.
No, he drafts his ass off. Let me say this about Jerry. I know we gotta get back to the draft. Jerry to me gets a bad rap. Yes, he's out there on the show. Bro, he put teams together that were supposed to win, that are talented enough to win. I'm not going to whether it was Dak Prescott, whatever. Like guys didn't live up to their expectations. Jerry, the general manager.
That was a 4th round pick. He's more than lived up to expectations. Yeah, but anyway,
exactly. Yeah. For his draft stats, he has lived up. But as a Dallas Cowboy quarterback, they forget when you get drafted if you can play. Yeah. They look at him as he was the 1st round draft pick. And Lee Ice always say this. Ben, you know this, and Jeff, you know Lee Ice. Remember Lee Ice?
Yeah.
He looks as Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott as similar. I don't. Like Dak Prescott is better than Kirk Cousins, and the reason why not even just ability, his leadership. He plays for Jerry Jones. Like, yeah, that's not easy position for a quarterback to be. I watched that Cowboys documentary. Troy Aikman retired because he was like, and this is what he said, quote, yeah, Jerry was learning the business on my time. Yeah, I wasn't really trying to go through that. Like, because we had Jimmy at the beginning, Jimmy Johnson. So Jerry gets a bad rap for the GM Jerry. Now, when he said, go kiss mommy arm, daddy leg, that's that old school stuff. I'm going to leave that for my uncle, the Midnight Rider and the crew to decipher. But for me, the GM Jerry, he a hell of a guy.
So it's funny, and I love this. I love this show now because I'm with like-minded people. I thought Ty Simpson all year long. I had him in my top 5 QBs in our segment that we do on Tuesdays. I think actually after week 1, and Jack laughed at me, and I was like, dude, I'm telling you, this guy's got moxie. He's got that thing that if you just, because Alabama couldn't really run the ball at the beginning of the season, they were struggling, and he just put that team on his shoulders. And the only problem was he got hurt late, and I think that's where the fall off came. But yeah, I love me some Ty Simpson.
There's scouts that have him ahead of Mendoza.
Dan Orlovsky went on ESPN and said that his tape is better than Fernando Mendoza's tape. Let me just say this. To put the one more, then we can move on to the 22nd pick. With Ben, you up next with the Chargers. But let me say this about Ty Simpson. Up until the defenses started figuring out that offensive line, he was going to be the first quarterback taken off the board. Like, I don't think people really understand that. Like, yeah, they look at Mendoza now for what it was. But when Ty Simpson was balling early in the season, he was quarterback 1. they were talking about that. Like, yo, Ty Simpson coming out of nowhere. So let me just say this. I think Ty Simpson will get picked in this first round. I don't know by which one of us, but I think he will get picked in this first round by somebody. It could be a trade. You never know. Ben, you're on the clock. The number 22 pick, LA Chargers.
All right. Give me their needs again because I don't know what's going on.
No, you got wide receiver. They need a guard, defensive lineman, safety. Ooh.
A playoff win.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that too. That too.
Huh. Let's take the kid Lomu.
Ooh.
Spencer Lomu.
Caleb Lomu from Utah.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's pencil him in there because I think they need somebody. And I said this earlier. They need a guard, and you took the guard that I wanted. The Ione kid with the Pittsburgh pick, but I think they want somebody else beside the big guys on the outside, and they both get both of them back. I think they become a very solid offensive line, and I think if they can stay intact, this makes for a pretty big season for Amari and Hampton.
Go ahead, Jeff. I'll let you go.
No, I'm just saying, like we predicted it earlier, there's going to be a run on offensive linemen, and they're coming off the board. There's a number of guys that are just kind of in a logjam here. The tail end of the first round as far as tackles go. That's really making me wonder who I'm going to pick with the 49ers at 27 because I was hoping at least one of them would fall because there's another team that needs offensive line. I mean, drafted offensive first line in the first round, it's like eating your vegetables. It's not always the sexiest thing, but you have to do it. And if they need to protect Justin Herbert. Harbaugh loves drafting offensive line, so can definitely see this being the way it plays out.
Great pick, Ben. 22nd pick. The Chargers improved that offensive line. If the Chargers offensive lineman can stay healthy, I guarantee you this: they will win a playoff game this season. Guarantee they will win a playoff game this season. They might win more than that. We'll see how the offseason progresses. With the number 23 pick, I am on the clock with the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me give a special shout out to my guy Tim Coles here, Highly Opinionated. Brother, we miss you. Can't wait to have you back when football season comes back. I am picking for him. No, I should have used you, Tim. I should have texted you and said, who do you think will be around? I didn't, and my bad for that. But with the 23rd pick in the draft, the Philadelphia Eagles. Whew, man. But they're going to trade A.J. Brown. They went out and signed receivers. So I don't think they need anything on the receiver side. Omari Cooper Jr. would be a good pick for them, but I don't think they need that. I think the Eagles, they could use offensive line. They could use another defensive. They could use an offensive lineman, another edge rusher, or a safety. I'm looking at Emmanuel McNeil-Warren here. I like him going to the Eagles. But I'm going to change it up. I think the Eagles take offensive lineman, offensive tackle. I mentioned him with the Steelers. I think they take Caden Proctor, University of Alabama.
Yeah.
This is for the Eagles, right?
For the Eagles, yes, sir.
Yeah, this is the I got his name wrong earlier, but Jordan Mailata and
Lane Johnson.
Yes. I think they're on their last legs. And what they always do in Philly is they'll take a kid at tackle, play him at guard for 2 years or 3 years,
and move you back.
So that other person's ready to move on. And then once they put him out the pasture, they move the other guy outside and kick him out. And I think that's a hell of a guard combo with Proctor and late Landon Dickerson, because now they get bigger back in the middle and they can go ahead and do some of that stuff they were doing before with the tush push and everything. I love this.
And also, I think if you guys look at, we obviously saw the report of Adam Schefter saying that basically will be a deal with the Eagles and the Patriots after June 1st. So we obviously know what type of team the Eagles are going to be. They're going to run the ball. We understand it. There's no disrespect to Jalen Hurts. I don't want nobody coming at me, please. But we understand they're going to run the ball. So how you improve your running, your offensive line, you draft an offensive line. And I think Caden Proctor is the best offensive lineman available. I think he will become a Philadelphia Eagle. Jeff, you are on the clock. The Cleveland Browns. This is their second pick in the first round. You picked for them in the first round. At number 6, they picked Reuben Bain Jr., pass rusher out of Miami. Who does the Cleveland Browns select with their second first-round pick?
Yeah, so for the Browns right now, I just have best wide receiver left on the board. So right now it's Omar Cooper Jr., the wide receiver out of IU. Honestly, I thought he was going to be gone by now. I had penciled in, I had Denzel Boston for the wide receiver from Washington. But with Omar Cooper still on the board, going to have to take him here. A physical, tough, fast wide receiver, like I said, reminds me of Cooper Kupp. You get him on the other side of Jerry Jeudy, and I think you have two solid wide receivers there with Cleveland. They've already improved the pass rush in this draft, and I mean, a division that could be wide open now with the Pittsburgh Steelers taking a step back. You never know what's going on with Cincinnati, Baltimore. I mean, you never know if they're going to have injuries again. The Browns could be sneaky if they hit this draft. They have 2 picks in this first round. If they hit this draft, they could be a sneaky team next year. So, taking Omar Cooper Jr., the wide receiver out of IU.
And let me say this: the Browns, we won't say they won the draft last year because we don't know about the quarterback position, whether you like Dylan Gabriel or Shador Sanders. But if you look at all their other picks, they hit. They hit on every pick but quarterback. Every pick. The running back, the tight end. That's why they let Njoku go, because they believe in Harold Sanders Jr.
And traded out of them and traded down and got this extra pick from Jacksonville.
Exactly.
They're still paying dividends from their draft last year because they have this pick that I'm making right now.
Yeah, because this would have been Jacksonville's pick. So
yeah,
the Browns, they might not be able to get quarterback right, but we damn sure know they can draft a lot of other positions right. Whether it's Carson Swearinger, defensive rookie of the year, the 2 running backs that they got. I love the guy from Ole Miss,
Quinshawn Junkins,
Quinshawn Junkins, and Wright from
Tennessee.
Tennessee, yeah. So
you didn't even mention the tackle they took, who could definitely make a leap.
Mason Graham. Yeah, Mason Graham. I love that draft. I said it last. I said the only thing we didn't know, only thing I didn't like was did you draft 2 quarterbacks? Like that doesn't always mesh. You feel me? Doesn't always mesh up. That never meshes most of the time. Go back to the Commanders. Go back to midnight with you and Robert Griffin III and Kirk Cousins. At some point in time, they're going to have to make a decision because both quarterbacks can play. So
you could argue that worked out as well as it could have, though. They both ended up being good players. I mean, you can't say the picks were wrong. Maybe taking them in the same draft wasn't the best idea, but if RG3 never gets hurt, that you could trade Kirk Cousins down the line because he did end up being a viable starter for sure.
No, he did. No, definitely. No, I should have said it the right way. Thank you, brother, for correcting me. They shouldn't have drafted them in the same class because now they both rookies, so they both gonna get this in rookie minicamp. They're gonna get the same amount of snaps because they both quarterbacks. You're not gonna try to tire out the quarterback one, so you can see how good the other quarterback is. So I rarely, if ever, don't want to draft 2 quarterbacks in the same class. If I do, I want one to be the first pick and one to be the last pick. So it's a clear separation. But I love the pick for the Browns. Just again, infusion of talent. Ruben Bain. If they can get Ruben Bain or Amari Cooper Jr. with the picks for the Browns, that's a hell of a first round for the Cleveland Browns. Definitely. With the 25th pick, the Chicago Bears are on the clock. Ben, my God, you're up. Who are the Bears selecting?
If my board is right, I'm taking Peter Woods, defensive tackle, Clemson. Give them somebody in the middle, help clog it up. I think I think if there's a better edge, I would have given them, but I don't think the edge they want is here. So I think they go inside and take care of their D tackle worries. And Peter Woods, he got the goods. So I think that's the thing. I think that's the best pick for them. I had Woods going earlier, so I was prepared to take Caden McDonald. But I knew the pick was going to be a D tackle for this spot, based on what we took in terms of edges.
Yeah, you're not as high on his teammate, who's that TJ Parker.
I like him. I didn't have him. I'm not high on him yet. I'm not here. I think I like him later for one of the edge spots, like right around maybe around New England or somebody like that.
Okay.
Great pick for the Chicago Bears. They improved their defensive line by selecting defensive tackle Peter Woods out of Clemson. The 26th pick, I'm selecting for the Buffalo Bills. Everyone in the world wants them to draft offense, whether it's wide receiver, etc. No. The thing that has destroyed the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs is not their offense. It's been their defense. So with this board available, you got some great guys available. I mean, if this guy falls down to Buffalo, they should do it. They should be dancing. The Buffalo Bills select linebacker C.J. Allen from the University of Georgia. They should be dancing. They've had linebacker injuries basically with Milano, Bernard, etc. So guys that they try to move in the linebacker. So I think this is the perfect guy, Georgia guy. You know he can play defense. You know he can get after the ball. Last season, he had 71 tackles. He had 23 assistant tackles. He played 579 snaps. He played in 13 games. So relatively durable. He played in 13 games his freshman year, 14 his sophomore year, 13 his junior year. So he's a relatively durable linebacker. I like C.J. Allen for the Buffalo Bills at number 26.
If you don't mind, I let out a little laugh when you said it because I'm 4 for 4 on C.J. Allen in this spot.
Wow. For the Bills? Wow.
Yes.
So I'm going to say this. It came down to him. I'm surprised you didn't take McDonald because McDonald really would be the guy that they need because they need somebody up front. But their linebacker core just get hurt so much. I feel like he could be an infusion of, youth in that linebacker room. So I like Allen as the pick here.
Not yet. We did a reverse. Like I said, I know I keep bringing up the reverse mock. If you ever want to try something interesting, draft the draft backwards and see how much that is.
My mind would be like how Jeff would, blown. Like what's going on here?
32-1. Because you don't have the process of elimination. You got to figure out what people's needs are and who's not going to be there and who is going to be at the same time. So
yeah, it sounds like a really good thought exercise. Like it makes you really think about things. Like it's not who falls to you. That's interesting. That might be something I want to try out.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah,
I know. My brain is right. I got you. We got you on that. Number 27. Well, let me say this, Jeff. Any thoughts on C.J. Allen going to Buffalo?
So I'm going to be honest with you. I wrote 33 names down on my list here. That's the first name I didn't have written down. I didn't have a first round grade on him, so don't have much to say here. Sorry.
Got you. Okay. Well, with the 27th pick, you're on the clock. You have the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, and I really wanted to go tackle here, just with Trent Williams getting old. I think they really needed, but all the tackles went. So I'm going to go in another direction, another position that they were flush at for a while, and with losing Debo and losing Ayuk, now they have some holes at wide receiver. We're going to take KC Concepcion, the wide receiver out of Texas A&M. Reminds me a lot of Debo Samuel, great with the ball in space. So they get kind of a Debo clone here with KC Concepcion here out of Texas A&M. Pretty late in the first rounds to get some high-end talent to plug into that offense.
KC Concepcion. Last season, 61 catches, 919 yards, 9 touchdowns. Go ahead, Midnight.
No, I was going to say, I love the pick. I love the idea of it. It fits right in with what they need. Because I had them also taking a wide receiver in another mock as well, just because I think you're limited if you're going to move Ayuk or move off Ayuk, you become limited.
Yeah.
Okay. Ben, you're on the clock. Number 28, the Houston Texans.
Oh, so I get my redemption track because this is where I take Caden McDonald. Give them somebody inside because they already got the edges taken care of. So now you get Caden in there from Ohio State, and I think you can do some damage in the space where you got 3 out of your 4 defensive linemen that are real hunters and attackers, and he's probably going to lead them in tackles for loss. And he may not get a bunch of sacks, but he's going to get a bunch of TFLs. So that's why I like him here in this space.
So you have Caden McDonald, defensive tackle, Ohio State, going to the Texans. That defense is already ferocious. Lord have mercy. You add him to it. He had 4 sacks as a defensive tackle. He played 448 snaps this season, played in 14 games. So obviously he's durable. He had 11 hurries on the quarterback, batted 1 ball down. He played in the A gap, the B gap, over the tackle. I mean, he can really kind of like do it all as the defensive tackle. In my opinion, I know you took Woods. I think McDonald was the best defensive tackle in the draft, in my opinion. So that would be an amazing pick for the Houston Texans. Amazing.
Be amazing for him too. He gets to go from the best defense in college football to the best defense in the NFL.
So. That's amazing, man. Damn, I can't go outside and get that damn lucky. Jesus Christ, he got lucky twice. Man, that'd be amazing for him. I am on the clock with the 29th pick. The Kansas City Chiefs are on the clock, and Jeff, you picked Caleb Downs, safety for them, out of Ohio State. So for me, I know everyone wants to talk about they could use another offensive tackle. They could use somebody. They could use a safety. They could use a corner because they lost their safety. Well, they got one safety in the draft with Wilson. I mean, Caleb Downs. But they could use enough. They could use a corner. They could use another pass rusher against Chris Jones. But for me, I think that in order to maximize this team, you got to have the best of Patrick Mahomes. So I think you get the best out of Patrick Mahomes. They take one of the receivers that I like the most in this draft. That would be wide receiver Denzel Boston from the University of Washington. He goes to Kansas City and tag teams with Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Travis Kelce. Denzel Boston last year, 62 catches, 881 yards. He had 11 touchdowns. He played in 12 games.
Yeah, he was going to be my pick for the Dolphins at number 30, the last wide receiver I had a first-round grade on. So definitely like the pick here.
Any thoughts, Midnight?
Love it. I love it. I think he's one of those guys. He's got the catch radius. I think he's smooth in and out of his breaks. I love it. I didn't have you taking him here, but I like the pick for sure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Jeff, you're on the clock with the Miami Dolphins. Miami originally got this pick in the Jalen Waddle trade. This was originally the Denver Broncos pick. Jalen Waddle goes to Denver. This pick goes to Miami. So with the 30th pick, the Miami Dolphins select.
Yeah, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here, running out of guys that I have first-round grades on. All the receivers are gone. Ty Simpson's still sitting there, but I don't think that you can sign a free agent quarterback in the offseason and immediately draft a quarterback in the first round, so that's not going to be the direction they go in here. But this is a team with a lot of holes, so I'm just going to do what a team with a lot of holes should do and take the best player left on my board, and I'm going to take Colton Hood, the cornerback out of Tennessee.
Colton Hood, yes. That's a hell of a pick.
Didn't have that on the bingo card.
I
like it. No, I like the pick, but I thought you'd have gone somewhere else.
Well, I mean, at this point, like everybody I had mocked them went. I mean, we had that huge run on receivers, we had the huge run on offensive line, and at that point, I just took whoever the best player I had left on my board. They could have gone Zion Young, the edge out of Mizzou. They could have gone T.J. Parker. They could have gone Ty Simpson. I just don't think you could do that to Malik Willis.
Totally agree.
Ben, you're on the clock. With the 31st pick, we are down to the last two teams who played in the last game of the season, the Super Bowl. The New England Patriots are on the clock.
So, I kind of love the setup because he didn't know he was throwing a oop when he said the comment, but he said the name that's going to be the next pick, and that's Zion Young from Missouri. I love this kid. Every time I turn the TV to Missouri playing, he was making a play. He was making something happen. And actually, in our mock draft on drive time, I think that's who they ended up with. So I know we're at least 2 for 2 on Zion Young going to New England. So there you go, man. It's a simple pick, man. It's shake and bake, man.
Shake and bake. I like it. Zion Young last season, 8 sacks, 32 hurries, 2 balls batted down, 17 hits. He played B gap, over the tackle, outside tackle, off the ball. So showed his versatility. Jeff, your thoughts on Zion Young going to the New England Patriots?
Oh, I absolutely love it. Like I said, I really gave serious consideration to taking him with the Dolphins. After I took Colton Hood, Zion Young was the best player left on my board. Like Ben said, when you watch Missouri, he really jumped off the screen. He was really just what you noticed. Similar to what I said about Ruben Bain when you watch Miami. Like whatever the measurables are, whatever the combine stats look like, when you watch the guy on tape, he jumps off the screen.
Right.
Definitely does jump off the screen. So the 32nd pick goes to Seattle. And Seattle is the Super Bowl champion. And this is a prime spot for a trade. So we have not had a trade all day. We're going to have a trade now. Seattle makes a trade in the division. They trade with the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know what the conversation will be, but that would have a second round, third round, etc. Arizona has the 32nd pick in the draft.
I'll just cross them off now.
Yeah, the Arizona Cardinals select quarterback Ty Simpson from the University of Alabama. Very simply put, I think that Ty Simpson like I said, going into the season, going up until he had a very good patch and had a rough patch. Last season, he was 28 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He threw for 3,500 yards, completion percentage 64%. He played 15 games. He was hurt majority of the season. Offensive line playing up and down. Running backs not playing well. Think about this. Ron Williams was on the Jeremiah Smith trajectory. Now Jeremiah Smith is leaps and bounds ahead of Ron Williams. If you watch Ron Williams last year, Ron Williams couldn't catch a cold, let alone catch a football. So Ty Simpson can't do good if your best receiver couldn't perform. So for me, Jeff knows me very, very well. He thought that Ty Simpson was going to go number 21. I learned my lesson last year, brother. I watched the draft. I learned. He goes number 32. The Arizona Cardinals trade with the Seattle Seahawks, and we get 2 quarterbacks in the first round. Ty Simpson at number 32 to the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, and you jump in front of me here because I was picking at 33 for the Jets and would have easily taken him. But like this outcome for Ty Simpson a lot more, I don't want to see him end up with the Jets and have his career ruined. Definitely better for him to end up in Arizona. Trading up into the first round, you get the 5th-year option on him as well, so that helps Arizona. So definitely like the pick. A smart move.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. What about Midnight?
Can you give me the option if Seattle stays with the pick?
Okay, I'll do this. If Seattle stays with the pick, I'll give you that option. If they stay with the pick, I think they take Avon Terrell, cornerback from Clemson. They either take Avon Terrell, cornerback from Clemson, or they take one of 3 players. Avon Terrell, cornerback from Clemson, Cassius Howard, edge from Texas A&M, or they take T.J. Parker, edge from Clemson. So they're going to, one way or another, they're going to improve their defense. I think they would because they have a defensive coach. Now, again, this might be a prime spot. I know Midnight, Ben, you mentioned earlier about Jadarian Price. I'm gonna mention a name that you love very much. You can if you don't get Jadarian Price, there's Mike Washington Jr. is not a bad 3rd place consolation prize. So for me, you don't have to draft a running back in the first round just to have a 5th-year option. If he's not that type of guy, like we all know that Jeremiah Love is that dog. We understand because he can run and catch the ball. Jadarian Price is a very good running back. I think for me, I have a 2nd-round grade on. I don't have a 3rd-round grade on. I have a 2nd-round grade on. But if you can't get him, Mike Washington Jr. is not bad. You feel me? So I just look at it as they would get a need that can improve their team right now. I think they believe in Zach. How you say his last name?
Charbonnet.
So I think they believe in him. They believe in that, brother. So, and remember, before Kenneth Walker started, Zach, he got his job because Zach what?
Charbonnet
got hurt. So when he got hurt, that opened up the door for Kenneth Walker. Because they were really doing 2 backs.
Right.
So for me, if they don't trade the pick, I think they'll take Terrell, Cassius Howard, or T.J. Parker. But I have them trade the pick. I have them taking Ty Simpson.
No, I like all your thought processes and all of that. The fact you brought up Mike Washington means you've been paying attention to some of the stuff that I've been putting out there because I love Mike Washington. I think he's I think if it wasn't Love and Price in front of him, he's the 3rd back on my list. I gotta find it. I could have added it to I think because I know I did a mock-up on one of our shows. Before we get out of here, Jeff, I don't know who's picking for the Cowboys or who's going to come in and jump in with us and talk about the Cowboys. But if you want to, I'll get your contact info from Josh. Because we're doing live coverage of the draft on Thursday.
Okay.
Now you might be doing your own thing. If you're doing your own thing,
no, I don't do. I usually do like my show is usually week to week during the NFL season. I don't do too much in the off season, so I got a lot of free time.
Oh, okay. So we're crazy. We go 52 weeks. We figure out content or make up content or find a way to make content. So yes, we're doing. We're trying to get people to jump in when their team's on the clock and give us their thoughts, man. So if you win or want in, let me know because we might have a bunch of Cowboy fans and we'll just let y'all pick.
That sounds like a good time, man. I'm definitely in.
All right, cool. We'll work out the particulars with your agent.
All right. So I got 1 pick left here. And,
yes, that's right. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
He does what he always does. Make things. I love this brother. Ben is the best. Jeff is the best. Hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, you're enjoying this mock draft show that we're providing for you here on Highly Opinionated. Shout out to the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network and shout out to the Let It Ride Podcast. You guys make sure to like, follow, and subscribe both platforms. These guys don't know how influential they are to me. I watch these guys daily. Jeff doesn't know this. Weekly, I should say weekly for Jeff, and been on everything. If you watch, it's almost 10 o'clock. If you watch the 11 o'clock news, he got a segment on that. So Ben is everywhere. You feel me? He's everywhere. Jeff, I seen that brother on the Weather Channel. I seen him on the Weather Channel. Then I turned to A&E. I seen him at the scene on the A&E. Then I turned on the Young and the Restless today. I saw him on CBS. I said, God damn. I said, damn, man, this guy's everywhere. So
when I hear him say Zach Charbonnet, I think maybe he was also the voice of the Candlestick from Beauty and the Beast.
So that bit, I don't know where I got that from. I just knew that his name had to be said differently. So yeah, man.
That last name, you definitely gotta say his name differently. Jeff, you in the draft, brother. You have the last pick, the first pick in the second round. The New York Jets. That first pick in the second round. This will be their third pick in the first 33 picks. The second pick they select Arvell Reese. The 16th pick they selected Malachi Lemon. Jeff, who does the New York Jets select at 33?
So I have three guys left with a first round grade. TJ Parker, Cassius Howe, and Emmanuel McNeil Warren, the safety out of Toledo. But I'm actually going to go in a different direction just because I like the fit here. I'm going to take Peter Woods, the defensive tackle out of Florida, just because I think he has a really high ceiling. He's still a little bit raw, but he is a multi-tool defensive tackle like Quinnen Williams, who they traded away. So it's a guy I think the Jets will like and could potentially take here at number 33.
So Ben took Peter Woods at number 25 with Chicago.
Oh, we did. Oh,
we did. We did.
You know what? I actually didn't have him written down on my first round thing, so I missed. We waited till the very, very last one to mess up like that.
I know,
all right.
So we will edit this out. You're fine.
That's all right. It's all right. So I'll just take the best available player on my board. Then I'll take TJ Parker, the edge out of Clemson.
Yep.
TJ Parker, edge, Clemson.
And that's actually a great pick because they traded They traded Jerome Johnson to the Titans for their D tackle out of Texas. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. So now that gives them another edge person. I like this. I actually like this a whole lot.
Yeah. Wait, I remember seeing. I don't remember it either. I remember seeing the Schefter tweet, the rare player for player offseason trade. Right. I can't remember the guy's name either. I'm gonna have to look it up as soon as we get off. It's gonna bug me.
He's a house. He's like 3. I think he's like 6'2", 6'3". Devondre Sweat.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm looking at that trade that y'all talking about, so I can get the players.
Yeah, I think that's the best move because now you get back the edge player that you gave away. I think you probably had TJ Parker up higher.
I did
than everybody else, and
I had him at 28.
Yeah, that's why I like doing these because you get to hear everybody else's opinions and thoughts. There's a lady that our Monday show Drive Time has. Her name is Nancy DePaz. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I just realized I messed up. I said the wrong name. I didn't mean to take Peter Woods. I meant Caleb Banks was the defensive tackle I was thinking of because I had Peter Woods crossed off.
So you want Caleb Banks for this?
No. We can stick with TJ Parker. I had him rated higher. I like Caleb. I just wanted to write him down just because he did remind me a lot of Quinnen Williams on tape, and I thought he'd be interesting for the Jets. But we'll stick with TJ Parker.
Okay. Go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry, cut you off.
No, you good. Now with my old brain, I forgot where I was going with this.
Talking about somebody on Drive Time.
Oh, Nancy is a young lady. Her name is Nancy DePaz. Because I think she picks. So Jeff, you'll want to be in the background, or at least be on stage when she comes up. She's a Miami Dolphins fan.
Okay.
And so far, this lady, she did a mock last year. We call it the People's Mock. And basically, what it is you get people. Everybody from a team that's a fan of a team You try to get them to make the pick for their team in the bubble. And then if there's people that, because you got teams that everybody doesn't like or everybody doesn't have, so you get people to fill in. So I'm always the person that fills in the other squads on a mock, and I let everybody else be like the Commanders fans and all those guys. I let them jump in. But this lady, if you jump in with us on Thursday, she's gonna be sharp. She is very sharp.
Absolutely, man. Ladies and gentlemen, those are all 33 picks. 32 in the first round. We made sure we had each person had 11 picks, so we gave you all 33 picks. You guys see it on the screen. Those are out. This is the first ever highly opinionated mock draft. Let's see if we can make this a tradition every year, fellas. How about it?
I wouldn't mind it at all. Like I said, you and I have mocked the last. I think this is either our third or fourth year in a row doing it, so might as well keep it going.
Might as well keep it going, brother. Jeff, it was a privilege and an honor to have you on the show for your first time, brother. We look forward to having you back. Next time we'll have you back in the interviewee form instead of putting you on the 5 with your picks, man. But I appreciate you for doing this, brother.
Of course, I was supposed to come on and talk about Anthony Davis. I mean, because there's not many Wizards fans out there, but I definitely want to. Sometime this offseason, we got to talk about what the Wizards are going to do next year.
We will get you on because JG, the guy I do the basketball show with, he is not believing in the Wizards at all. So I would love for you to come on because I'm thinking about right around that draft lottery time. Because soon we find out they get a certain pick in the draft, then you can add that to the time that they got. I think Washington could be fighting for the.
Well, that's the thing about believing in the Wizards. Believing in the Wizards doesn't mean you think they're going to win the championship. Believing in the Wizards means you think they could maybe get like a 7 seed. So
exactly. I think expectations are low, but it's because they've been playing bad. So we get that. But Jeff, tremendous job, brother. Can't wait to have you back on the show. You were the best, man. Ladies and gentlemen, you make sure you like, follow, subscribe. The Let It Ride podcast. Jeff said he does a show every week during the NFL season. He has great guests from yours truly to I'm trying to think who else you had on there. You had
we got Jordan, we got Kyle that always come on. Those are my 2 main ones. Yeah,
that's my man from Minnesota. I forgot his name. Oh my God, we were in the group chat on Twitter. I forgot his name. Oh my God.
No, James. I haven't heard from James in about like a year and a half. I think he's off the grid.
We need to check on him. I'm gonna send something in the group chat after we get finished with the show. But Jeff, man, tremendous job. Keep doing what you're doing with the Let It Ride podcast, brother. Want you to win. Ben, love you. Keep doing what you're doing at the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. I joke with this man and say he's on every show, but he gives you his realness, his rawness on every show, and it's not the same thing. Like he's gonna be him. And Ben, you're amazing. Can't thank you enough for doing this mock draft, and look forward to having you guys both on the show next year for mock draft, the second edition of the Highly Opinionated mock draft.
Sounds good.
No doubt.
Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up episode 8. For the best producer in the game, Ross. For the best co-host in the game, Jeff. Again, make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the club. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to Let It Ride podcast. For the Midnight Rider, follow, like, subscribe the Sideline Junkie Podcast Network. I'm merely Josh. We will see you next week. JG will be back next week. We are out.